Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Shades Talks, a special presentation live here as part of RVTV. How we all doing, everybody? Holy crap, I'm in so much pain right now, and unfortunately I'm having to do double duty because I'm messaging people for what we're talking about tonight. Because it is a busy, it has been a busy weekend. So, how's everyone doing tonight? Let me just get this doing. I'm actually talking with one of the cast members because he was wondering if we got one of the shows this weekend. It's just one of those days, you know how it is. Anyway, let me just see what's going on here in the chat. So yes, if you forgive me if you hear me grunting a little bit, I am in so much pain right now, at least in my legs. You hush. Jane is behind me. She's getting ready to go to bed after she finishes her finishes eating. But yeah, my legs are dying right now. I have been walking all weekend long. I probably walked at least a good 30 to 40 miles total with how much walking we've had to do. It was insane how much we did. But yes, I am still feeling good. I got some rest. I've gotten some food in me, so I'm feeling better. And we're ready to talk about tonight. Talk about our topic tonight, which, of course, is the one and only Metrocon 2017. If you're at Flutter Guy, Lady K is passed the fuck out right now. She is exhausted as much as I am. She normally sleeps during the day, so her sleep schedule has been all kinds of fucked up. But she had just as much fun as we did. In fact, she really busted her ass, and now I'll be talking more about that. But before we get to what little I have to ask about, we're going to start with some Q&A, because shout out to Biohybrid, who took the initiative for me and decided to ask some questions, and decided to ask for questions that you guys had regarding Metrocon. And I want to thank all of you guys for not only sending in your questions, but more importantly, keeping them relative to Metrocon. And I ask that in the chat tonight, we do the same. No Toku talk. No anime talk. Well, at least not, in general. Just keep it relative to Metrocon tonight. Because that's what tonight is about. It is about Metrocon. It is about everything that happened this weekend. I know you guys probably may not have much to talk about in that regard, but I will give you guys some stuff to ask about. And once we get done with the main Q&A, I will look in the chat for questions, but this is to help get the big ones out of the way that you guys want to ask about. And admittedly, some of these are very similar, so if I end up repeating myself, I apologize, but I do have them here. And we will start with a couple questions from Flutter Guy. Flutter Guy gave us our first two questions. First one up, how was it meeting Caleb Howells and Jonathan Young, if you did? Well, I did. Lady K actually got to interview them, and I will have that interview once it's ready. But I actually got to hang out with them a little bit prior to their concert. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, it was an amazing, these guys were awesome. Like, they are very down-to-earth guys, very humble. Like, they were just happy to even be invited to a con. Like, these guys, the fame has clearly not gotten to their heads yet. They're very cool dudes. Like, I saw them setting up for their concert, and I've heard stories of, normally singers who are very strict about what kind of equipment they want to use, what kind of setup they have, and everything like that. But these guys were just like, whatever works best for you, we'll do it. As long as it works, we can have a good show. That's all that matters. So, very, very down-to-earth guys. Very awesome to talk with. And not only do I have footage of the concert, but Jonathan actually asked me to send him said footage once I'm done editing it, which I will be working on this week immediately, so that he can use it for his own video, which means you might actually see a video I recorded on his channel in the near future. Maybe. It's nothing set in stone yet. They may not be able to use it, but there's a good chance you might see my name pop up on Jonathan Young's YouTube channel. Just saying. Plus, I talked with them, and they, if their schedule allows it, they may even join me for the live stream premiere of said concert. Again, schedule pending, so don't get too hyped yet. I don't know for sure if this is going to happen, but they said they were willing to do so if their schedule allows it. So I am very excited about that possibility. They are very cool dudes. There were, like, definitely, if you guys have not heard their stuff, please, by all means, go check out their channels. Caleb and Jonathan are amazing singers. They did amazing stuff. And yes, DL Bot, I just heard that cover today. It was awesome. I am very happy. If you guys, Mortals was a great song. I'm so glad they covered it. He covered that. So very cool stuff. Very excited. Anyway, question number 2 from Footer Guy. How did TJ take the whole guest thing, being a first-time guest? You could see it on his face. He was in disbelief the whole weekend. Like, he was not sure how he was going to handle himself on stage. He has footage, of course, of his own appearance. I did not record his stage time. Really, the only thing that he did differently this year as opposed to last, he judged the AMV contest, but he actually did not get a chance to actually go to it. And, of course, he was there at opening and closing ceremonies on stage. Otherwise, it was just a normal year for TJ. He just went around recording the con like he normally does. So it wasn't a huge change for him, all things considered. He still did his interviews, and he still did his thing. So it was a normal year for him. It was just more like now he's got official, because he was helping out with stuff. But he was really fun. He actually did a sort of George Carlin-esque skit at opening ceremonies. It was very cool. He had a lot of fun with that. And then, yeah, he actually got a little inspirational at closing ceremonies, which he didn't even realize. He's like, oh my God, I just said something inspiring, didn't I? Yes, you did, TJ. But otherwise, again, it did not go to his head. He had a lot of fun. We hung out all weekend. We were bunkmates like we've always been. Nothing's changed. And, oh, Sentai Master, just you wait. Just you wait. He is already I'm sure he is already uploading his videos. In fact, he is going to help me with a couple of the events this year, because there was a couple events that either I didn't get or didn't get fully. So he's going to help me He's going to help me with that. Very cool stuff. Let me just check here. Okay, just got an update. Sorry if you. So very cool, but yeah, he had a lot of fun, and he was very cool about that. All right, next up, we got Fireball Disaster. What was your favorite moment from Metrocon? Ooh, so many. I could not name any one moment from this year's Metrocon that I would call my absolute favorite. And that's a question. This is one of those questions that it's so like you have to be more specific on like what you mean by that, because there's no one moment from a convention like this. You can't just narrow it down to one moment. It's not possible. There's so much going on, so many things happening. And I have so much fun every year with everything that we do, so I couldn't name one specific moment. I really can't. And that's the reason why I always encourage people to come to Metrocon, or at least, or if they can't, go to a local con in their area. Because it's not just about one moment. There's so many moments you can have going to these cons. All the people you hang out with, all the events you see, all the panels, all of the shows, all of, meeting your favorite guests. There's so much you get to do at one of these conventions that you just have to experience it all. So, second up from Fireball Disaster, were you able to see Anime Idol? No, I was not. I believe I had other stuff in the way of a schedule on that, so unfortunately I missed out on that. I don't think I've ever gone. I've never seen Anime Idol, which sucks because I know it's really good. There's a lot of talented people that go on that show, go on that event, but I just am unable to make it because there's always other events going on. That being said, if anyone else got to see that, please let them know. Like, I know Solar Star and Slick Rick are in the chat. If either of you guys saw it, feel free to share your experience with it in the chat. Definitely, though, Anime Idol, you know, one of their better events, and there's a reason why I came in. Anyway, next up we got Shin Furbus Brown. Were there any actors you wanted to meet but either couldn't or didn't? Yes, actually. I have yet to have a really good chance to sit down and talk with Paul St. Peter, Ray Chase, or Max Middleman. Like, we have not had a chance to talk with them very much. We just did not have, you know. The thing of it is we're very limited in our interview schedule because of how many people apply for press passes, how many people request interviews. The guest relations director, Morgan Spalding, has limited to 3 interviews per person. So if you have at least 2 people in your group, you get 6 interviews. But that's all we get. So I get 3 interviews, and Lady K gets 3 interviews, technically. Now, she did allow us to have Lady K do the majority of our interviews. She got 5 interviews, technically. 4 interviews, 5 guests. So she got that. But technically, it's still limited to 3 per person. That's the limit. And I did get 1, which we'll get to later because some of you have asked about this. But yeah, we didn't got a chance to sit down with Paul St. Peter, Max Middleman, Ray Chase. I never got a chance to even like talk to them at all. Robbie Damon, I did get to see at the after party for a brief moment, and he was doing good. And of course, the other guests we did get to meet as well. So that's the thing with that. I personally did not get a chance to see Vic Mignogna or Mary Elizabeth McGlynn either. I didn't get to see them at all. Like, they never showed up to opening or closing ceremonies because they had to leave. They didn't come in until like Saturday, and they had to leave pretty much before closing ceremonies. So I never got to see them at all. But Lady K got to interview both Mary and Vic, so that's all squared away. And of course, Scott, we ran into him all weekend long because he was always hanging around. So definitely cool with that. Anyway, next up we got a question from DL Bot. If there was any Seiyu that you would want to come to Metrocon, who would it be? Now, if we're talking American voice actors, at this point, I'm trying to think who on my, maybe Yuri Lowenthal. I have not had a chance to sit down and talk with Yuri Lowenthal. Yes, we know he's Sasuke, but he was also Simone, so I'd love to talk to him for that. And there's probably quite a few others if I really sat down and thought about it. There's a lot of voice actors I'd love to meet. Patrick Sates, J. Michael, not J. Michael, J. Michael. Who is it? The guy who does Stein's voice. I'd love to meet him because, like, he's always been this very, very cool voice actor that I'd love to talk to. So very, very cool. You know, there's a lot of guys I'd love to see come to Metrocon. As far as Japanese Seiyu, there's really not many. I don't know Japanese voices that well to put one or the other. So at most I'd say Aya Hirano. I think that would be the one I would have to meet in person because it's fucking Aya Hirano. If you don't know who that is, you don't know me very well. So there's that. You almost done? All right, hurry up and get to bed. Anyway, so next up we have Red Rob with a question. With all the hardcore anime fans and cosplayers that attend the con, what does Metrocon mean to you? Now, that is a very good question. Metrocon is about the community. There's a reason why I connect with Metrocon on such a level, because it is very much how I like to run things here at RVT. Metrocon is about its community. It's about its fans. It's about its audience. You know, they do this for the fans. And it's very clear that they do this for the fans. And that's why they go out of their way. Because really, if they took out the events, they'd probably make a lot more money in profits. because a lot of their money has to go into the production values for their events. They spend thousands of dollars renting out equipment, buying equipment to set up those events. They took those out and just focused on panels and autograph signings. They probably make a killing. But they don't do that. They go out of their way for these elaborate production values for the fans, and it shows. And it is very clear if you talk to the staff at Metrocon that they do this out of love. They have fun with it every year. They enjoy themselves, even though guys like Nick and Alex, the heads of Team Dynamite Productions, the heads of Metrocon, are running around like chickens with their heads cut off 90% of the time. They enjoy every bit of it. So they do this for the fans. They are about bringing the community together, and it shows. Absolutely. It's just absolutely amazing what these guys do for the. Anyway, Red Rob with a follow-up question here's a serious question: which con is better, Anime Expo or Metrocon? I can't answer that. Why? I've never been to Anime Expo. I can't tell you which is better if I've never been to the other one to judge it. I honestly couldn't tell you, so I sorry couldn't help you there, Red Rob, but I love Metrocon to absolute death, and there's a reason why I don't go to many cons every year, but I will go to Metrocon over anything else. Being fully honest here, I love some of the other cons I go to. I love Ranger Stop to death. Love working with them. But if I was forced to choose to go to only one con a year, if our budget only allowed for one con a year, I would choose Metrocon over Ranger Stop. I think that's more of what kind of the question you want to ask. Like, if I have to choose one or the other, I will choose Metrocon because I know Metrocon will not let me down. They may have their quirks, they may have their off days, things may not always go 100% right, but I know Metrocon will always give me a fantastic showing every single year, and I will go there every single year, no matter what. So, I know, that's how much I love Metrocon. It is that big of an experience for me, and I will explain why as we go through. After we finish these questions, I'll go through my own personal details on this. Next up, Donovan Graff. How did your interview with Steve and Scott go? Absolutely amazing. We did not have one bad interview this year at all. None of our interviews were terrible. None of our interviews were boring. None of them were bad in any way, shape, or form. They were amazing. Scott's interview that Lady K did may have actually topped my interview from him from 2009, which I consider to be the highlight of my interviews with every voice actor. My interview with Scott was the most funniest thing I ever did back then, and yet I think Lady K actually topped me because it was hilarious. I will not spoil it for you, but I will tell you this right now, you will be laughing your ass off the entire time, and I know this because she showed me the interview after she got back that day. So you're look forward to that, which kind of answers our next question here. Out of from Heisei225, out of the interviews you did this year, which one was your favorite? Well, I only did one interview, which was Steve, but it was great. It was fantastic. Steve is amazing. He's a really cool, down to earth dude. Love him to death. Hope he comes back next year. But without a doubt, Lady K's interview with Scott was the highlight. As good as all of the interviews there, that was the highlight, was the interview with Scott McNeil. So, again, look forward to that. But I will say this, if you like any of the other voice actors that we got, look forward to all of them. All the interviews were great. Give me a second here. Night, David. All right. Oh, okay, that was Sentai Master. Okay. Yeah. Anyway. So, very cool, very good interviews this year, and very much looking forward to editing and posting those. Like I said, from what Lady K said, none of her interviews were bad in any capacity. My interview with Steve was fantastic, so you've got a lot to look forward to on that regard come this next few weeks. I'm going to try to get the interviews done as soon as possible so we can start uploading those while I'm working on the events. If that doesn't happen, I apologize, but we will get those up. Anyway, number 11 from Supernova. What is the best item you've ever gotten at a Metrocon? Ooh, that's tricky. That is tricky because... Actually, no. There is one thing that I got for myself, that I bought for myself. I actually was lucky enough to get the Moya Moya Zukun from Akiba Ranger Season 2 at Metrocon. It was $65, and I still have it to this day. Never thought I'd get one of those, but it was just happened to be Metrocon several years back, and many of you know I had that. But I've also gotten some great gifts from fans. Solar Star and Slick Rick have given me some amazing gifts. Solar Star, dude, never fails to disappoint, and we'll be getting to that here in a little bit. I've got a couple of gifts from both of you guys that I'll be showcasing. I mean, even though I don't have my camera on, my webcam is pretty much dead. I do have a couple gifts to showcase, including a mystery box that I'll be opening up. I have not opened it yet. I kept my word. But, yeah, that's probably one of the best items I've gotten at Metrocon. But I've gotten some great stuff. Very cool stuff. And to me, the interviews are, like, some of my best stuff, too. Anyway, now, and lastly, we got a question from our very own, my esteemed colleague, Yami Anji. And I kind of, and I'll have to explain this question because you asked, in light of a panel having to be shut down for inappropriate content, should panels that are fan-made or have 100% audience participation have rules about what questions can be asked? Now, what she's implying there is that there was a all-girls panel. Like, the panel was, girls only can go to said panel. And apparently, while it was originally approved, they later found out what the panel was about and what the intent was from the fan panel's creator, and shut it down mid-con. Like, it was weird. I have since talked with, I actually did ask Nick and Alex about this. I've asked a lot of the staff about it and found out what happened. Let's just say there was a good reason why this panel was shut down. It was completely understandable why this panel got shut down. So, should the panels like this have rules about what questions can be asked? It depends on the con. I mean, if a con is all ages, mature content allowed, anything goes, really doesn't matter what, but obviously it's more about what kind of questions should be asked. Sometimes you can't really anticipate the kind of questions that can be asked. It really depends on the con, depends on the guest, depends on the intent of the panel. There's a whole lot of a lot of variables in that. But I do agree, you have to be very careful about what kind of panel you're running. Because you never know when someone's going to run that kind of panel that is just going to cause chaos and really piss somebody off, offend somebody, and hurt the reputation of the con. It's you have to walk a very fine line doing that. So it's understandable in that regard. Give me just a second here. I'm going to close. I need to find... I'm going to turn my TV off real quick. There we go. Go to bed. Anyway. Evan Hunter Gale, that is not a question I can answer. That is not a question I can answer honestly, because it is not my place to talk about a panel about stuff that I had no control over. I did not go to this panel. I only heard about this panel once it was getting shut down. So there's nothing I can say about that. It was just one of those kind of days. Anyway, so very difficult thing to say, but that was the last of the questions that I received. And thank you to everyone who sent in your questions. You guys were awesome. So, but obviously that does not even begin to cover the gamut of what we did at the con. Now, I'm not going to go into details about any of the events because, well, I've got the videos for those, or at least most of them. There were a few events that either I did not get entirely or I did not get at all. The only one that I did not get at all was the Rick and Morty stunt show. the crew at Shinobi School put together their stunt show again this year. Instead of doing Borderlands like they did last year, they did Rick and Morty. So I could not make it because other interviews and other events kind of got in the way. However, TJ did go to the Rick and Morty stunt show, and he's going to be sending me his footage of that to use in the video, to use for the stream, because he doesn't normally post the entire events online. So he was very cool with me sending me his footage, or he's very cool with sending me his footage and allowing me to use it. Of course, I will be sure to credit him because I am not an asshole. I will be very sure to credit him for his hard work. And the same goes with a couple other things. There was one aspect of the fire show that I did not get because my camera did not work, was dead by the time I got to it. I did get the fire show pretty much in its entirety, but there were a couple of special things that happened on 2 specific nights of the fire show. The first night, Thursday night, was the one I did not get, but at the end of the night, there was a wedding proposal between 2 of the cast members. So big shout out to Brittany Young and Jericho Lank, for their awesome engagement. I was actually just talking with Brittany on Facebook, letting her know that we will be streaming the fire show, and I'm going to try to get that footage before then. I'm gonna have to bug the hell out of TJ to get that footage ahead of time so I can make sure to add that into the video because you guys need to see it. Yes, 700, I did get the chess match. I will be getting to that. But nonetheless, the fire show was amazing. Of course, the theme was Kingdom Hearts. You guys will love it. It is amazing. I'm going to do my best to give it an appropriate intro. And it's absolutely amazing. Now, the second night, the second side event, which I did get, was on Saturday night. And that, we had a proposal on Thursday, and on Saturday, we had a full-on wedding. There was a couple of girls who were pretty close with the con. They've worked with the con for years, and they decided they were going to get married, and they decided they were going to get married at Metrocon. So after the fire show on Saturday night, these 2 girls actually had their wedding right in the fire show stage. They had a recognized notary or conductor to do the ceremony and sign off on it. And it was absolutely beautiful. I have the footage of this. In fact, I will be sending said footage to the brides, to the new brides, and once I get it edited together. I believe it is bio. I believe we did recently pass that, which thank God. So yeah, and actually, it's pretty much. I think the Supreme Court said you kind of can't. You kind of have to be. It has to be legal. So yeah, it's legal in Florida, and it was recognized. But even if it wasn't, you know what? I don't care. It was a beautiful ceremony, and if the law says it's not valid, fuck them. It was still amazing, and big shout out to both the ladies. It was a beautiful ceremony, and I hope they have happy lives together. So. Absolutely awesome. And of course, as mentioned by Slick Rick, the curse of the Fantasy Masquerade has returned. We staved it off for 1 year last year, and I think it was because we had Power Rangers involved that the curse was held off, but this year it has returned because of circumstances well within my own control. I had a dead camera by the end, and unfortunately missed out on the last segment of the Fantasy Masquerade. Luckily for me, I have been in contact with Nick and with Alex, and Alex is, Metrocon's own official footage is actually going to come to the rescue here. I'm going to try to get the footage from them of that last segment. We will definitely have the Fantasy Masquerade in some capacity before too long. And of course, I will also be working to get the footage for all of the other events. And hopefully I get it on time. If I delay anything, I apologize, but that's only because I did not have everything I need to get this off the ground. But we will have all the events eventually. Um, sorry, I'm constantly getting distracted here trying to run this stuff. So much going on. Yeah, thanks for the reminder, Rick. Trust me, I'm already kicking my own ass over this. Don't need to rub my face into it. Thank you. Superhero show was pretty good as always, though, admittedly, and I know Chris is probably, if Chris hears this, he's gonna kill me. But I'm gonna be completely honest. I felt it was too much of a clusterfuck. That's my own personal opinion. But Chris is not only do we have the footage of the superhero show, but I have been working with Chris Fields, the main director, or the guy who the last couple of years has been Captain America. Though this year, no Cap. Got something new this year. But actually, no, we technically did get Cap, just not in the way you normally think. That being said, superhero show was good. But again, I still think their first year, they hit it off of that in the first year, and they've kind of haven't really picked it up since. But that's my own personal opinion, my own personal critique. But we will have footage of that. And not only that, but Chris has actually asked me to send him the raw footage because he wants to add a voiceover track so that you guys can clearly hear the dialogue throughout the entire show. It's not going to be just the audio that's from the stage. So be prepared for that in the near future. I'm going again. I kind of have to work on that immediately now because I got to get that footage to him as soon as possible. This week is going to be fucking busy. I'm going to say this right now. I'm probably not going to be doing Ranger. Even though, technically this should be a Ranger recap week. One last classics. I'm not going to have the time. I'm not going to have the time to do a Ranger recap this week because I've got so many things I have to get edited on. I'm going to be busting my ass all week long. I mean, just doing Wednesday's TRPG is going to be a bitch. I'm going to be honest. There's so much I need to do. I mean, I can't even put out the ad for the streams because I don't have all the footage for it yet, and I'm already having to work on that. So you just imagine how much shit I have to go through trying to edit all this together. It's a lot. Let me see. What other events do we have? Of course, RCC was great as always. Absolutely fantastic. Star Party, hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Kind of, one of the big problems that happened this year, and this happened to almost every event, was audio tech issues. In fact, I kind of jokingly called it Audio Tech Shit Show 2017. Their microphones just were not having it this year. It wasn't the fault of the tech staff. Lex and Cameron both did the best they could, but their mics were just not cooperating this year. It were constantly cutting out. They were constantly having problems. It was insane. Evan Hunter, there will always be. I have to do Toka Riffs. That's our top show. I kind of have to do Toka Riffs, but I'm trying to minimize the amount of shows that I do this week because I have to keep up. I have to get all this stuff done. We will still do Toka Riffs, but it's just recap this week. And even then, next week, I still have to do recap because guess what? Ninja Steel's coming back. Anyway, Metrocon Live was hilarious, DLBot. It was absolutely fantastic. They have continued to outdo themselves. There were every skit. It was so hard for me not to laugh my ass off. I'm not even kidding. So yeah, be prepared for an amazing Metrocon Live. That is another show that I'm gonna have to get extra footage from because night 1 they dropped some skit. They had to drop some skits due to tech issues. Night 2. They got those skits back in and dropped other ones. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing I have to get the footage from TJ for night 2, and I'm going to have to intermix them. Wish me luck. Kyoryu Crimson, any items in the dealer's room that I like that I wanted to buy? No, not this year. In fact, the only place that had any Toku stuff only had Ghost and Forze items. I'm not even kidding. I think the only other thing they had was a CSM Kabuto belt, which, yeah, fuck, I'm not affording that. Anyway, DLBot, I am not answering what the funniest skit is. You're going to have to watch and see for yourself. So, I'm not telling you what the funniest skit is just yet. You can find out when we do the live stream for it. Then I'll disclose what the funniest skit was. So, be more, but don't worry. I do have Metro Night Live. We will be showing that off once I get all that edited together. Let's see. What other shows am I missing here? Of course, I mentioned earlier the concert with Jonathan Young, Caleb Hiles. Absolutely amazing. Great bit of stuff. Great bit of songs. They did quite a bit. They did a good mix of anime and mostly Disney songs because what they both tend to do are Disney covers. But they did some awesome songs. So be prepared for that. I think the only other thing is the chess match itself. Now, luckily for the chess match, I caught the day 2 chess match where they ironed out all the bugs, and it was smooth as silk the entire show. They were very proud of it. Definitely, you will love this year's chess match. It was amazing. It pretty much topped last year, which I didn't even think could be done after how insane last year's was, but you guys will like it. Diablo, why are you asking me to spoil shit for you? You just have to wait and see. Hold your horses, please. I'm not going to tell you. Flutter Guy, give it time. Him and Jonathan both. Because they're both do amazing songs. Sooner or later, I get the feeling one of those two is going to get picked up. I think Disney's going to hook up with one of those two at some point. So definitely check it out. Definitely check that video out when it goes up. And again, I'm crossing my fingers that I can work it out with Caleb and Jonathan to join me on the live stream for that. Again, very chill dudes. You would think being YouTubers and being as popular as they are that they would have egos or they wouldn't have time for shit like that. No, they are very, very down-to-earth guys, and I loved talking with them, and I know Lady K did as well, so look forward to that interview. Oh, Rick. None of you are prepared for that, I promise you. I'm not going to say any more, but yeah, none of you are prepared for what happens at chess. Oh, good God. I had originally... One thing, though, unfortunately, a plan of mine was ruined because I was going to do something with a chess match where I had a chessboard on screen where everyone's positions, but they did something new this year with chess that fucks that whole plan up. In all honesty, I'm not going to be able to do that this year. God damn it, Nick. You ruined my plan, you asshole. Because I was going to do this thing where I had the chessboard on screen showing where all the players' positions are and moving them accordingly when they call their moves. The only thing I'm going to spoil is the problem with that. Because what they did was they started the whole show in medias res. Meaning, I don't know where everyone is starting at. I'd be guessing 90% of it. So I can't do that. God damn it. Ugh. But nonetheless, it was amazing. One thing though, be sure you get plenty of exercise, and especially with cardio and walking around, because my legs are in so much pain right now. You have no idea. They are aching so bad. I'm. Ugh. Yeah, well, Rick, I think they're trying to focus more on the story than the chess match, because I'm going to be honest with you. I've looked up other anime human combat chess matches on YouTube. There other cons have tried to do that, try to replicate Metrocon's formula. None of them have even come close. You look them up on YouTube. There's plenty of others. Some of them are okay, but most of them are just... Don't even try, dude. You're not even close. The fight scenes are terrible. Their stories are flimsy at best. Some of them don't even have stories. It's literally just a straight up chess match. Sometimes you even wonder if they even have it scripted. If it's just they're just actually playing chess and acting out things. It's that bad. Look it up. You will see what I'm talking about. There's none of them look any good. Metrocon is the only one that has been able to pull off a chess match, the anime-human combat chess thing like this, to such a high level of quality. But they also focus more on the story and the fight scenes than they do the chess part of it. The chess is just kind of the setup. The means is a means to an end. It's not the whole point. But I'm trying to think what else. What else can we talk about here? Because we still got some time. One thing that I think for me differentiates what I do at Metro compared to a lot of other guests is that I get the chance to really get to become friends with a lot of the cast. Like, a lot of them know who I am. A lot of them know what I do. A lot of them are very excited about what I do. Because even though Metrocon has their own official videographer team, their own official videos that they post, a lot of the cast know I put out my stuff first and are very happy with my content, even if it's not as good a quality as what Metrocon puts out. And they are so excited to see what I have to do. The biggest one has to be my girl, Sarah Solis. Sarah Solis is she is an energetic sprite, let me tell you. She is amazing. Most of you probably remember her the last couple of years as Tifa Lockhart. She especially did it last year at the Masquerade. She is a wonderful girl, and I love hanging with her every time I see her. She's so full of life that I love chilling with her, and she's always so excited. She's always happy to see me. To see us when we come around. And the same goes with a lot of cast. Of course, James, Spade Ace, director of the Star Party. He was having fun. He was doing his thing. And of course, his fiance Morgan, the Heart Queen, was there. She does a lot of the backstage work. She's a lot of the stage hands and shit like that. She's usually backstage manager. Very cool. She knows what she's doing and definitely makes it work. Thinking who else? Of course, Angel Kennedy, who you might recall a couple years ago as the guy that died in just about everything. We will never let him live that down. He was a trip to chalk with every time. Very cool dude. Like, I get to know a lot of these cast members and a lot of these staff on a personal level. I know the head of registration, Shannon Fazio, Nick's wife. She is an amazing woman. She's very awesome to hang with. I will stop by the registration booth and talk with everybody there. You know. Oh, and when it comes to cast and staff, I have to mention Matt Kondrashik, a.k.a. Crunch, as we like to call him. He is one of the craziest sons of bitches you will ever find on this planet. I am not kidding. He is a trip and a half every time you see him. He's always crazy. But huge shout out to him in practice for Fire Show. In doing Fire Show practice, he also dropped a proposal to one of the girls at registration, Brandy, and it was a very heartfelt moment. If you follow me on Facebook, I might have shared. If you follow me on my personal Facebook, which I know most of you don't, unfortunately, I did share that, and I did send my congrats to them. They are two very awesome people, and I hope for the best for both of them. They seem very happy and such. So yeah, this was the season of love this year. Cue Rent soundtrack here. But yeah, very, very cool dudes. Everybody at the cast and staff is very cool people, and I'm getting some comments here. Ah, okay, cool. But yeah, just, you know, the cast and staff are all very cool. They're all very friendly with each other. Of course, I have to mention Emu Feast, who she is also a trip and a half. Very cool people to talk with. Like I couldn't even begin to name all the people that I am very good friends with. And you have to get to know these people because every one of them are just amazing people. So, DLBot, Ace will probably, if all goes well, he should be back this Sunday. If all goes well, he should be back for a while this Sunday. Don't hold me to that, but that's pretty much where we're going with this. Wrong, Emu DLBot. Dave! Actually, no. Emu was last year in the chess match. Emu played Yang Xiaolong from Ruby. That's who that Emu is. And yes, Bio, that's the Emu. That is the Emu. That Emu. Because, oh yes, she is a trip. Trust me, she is just as crazy in person as she is on stage and on Facebook. She's never not being silly, and I love every minute of it. In fact, as we're talking, she's actually commenting on stuff on the Facebook page, because as I asked earlier on Discord, I have a question for you in regards to Metrocon Live. I want to ask a question for you guys, because you guys know I do Metrocon Live. And I want to know, for the live streams, specifically for the live streams, do you guys prefer that I do just the live chat after the show, or would you guys like to hear live commentary while the video is playing? And the reason I ask this is because the several years that I've done Metrocon Live, when you guys are watching the videos, I'm in the Discord chat or Skype call talking with the cast, and the stories they share are some of the most hilarious things you'll ever hear, and more than half of them never get brought up again during the chat, during the actual live, the post-show chat. So you guys still miss out on quite a bit. And considering that I post the videos after these streams so that you can watch them without the need of the commentary, I want to know if that's something we should do. If we should start doing it during the commentary, during the show. I mean, we'll still do the live chat afterwards, Rick. That's fun. We will do, you know, so you'll get both. But, like, you guys miss out on so much, and I want you guys to have the full experience. So, that's why I'm going to ask. So, it looks like it's pretty unanimous. I know there's a couple people who said not only do the live chat afterwards, but having that live commentary I think would be a lot more fun. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to be doing. And the Facebook page, they're agreeing with me on that. They're agreeing with you guys on that. They want the live commentary. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have, instead of just a live chat, we're going to do full on live commentary so that you guys can enjoy the show while at the same time learning about it. And again, I will still post the full non-commentary video afterwards, so that if you just want to watch the show, if you just want to see what's going on, just want to see the show itself, you can do that. I will not deprive you of that. But I want to give you guys both. Bio, I already know how to do it. I have a Discord server specifically for Metrocon. I know what I'm doing with that. Not going to be hard to do. But yeah, we will definitely be working on that very soon, and I'm very glad that you guys are going to have fun with that. It is just, this is one of my favorite conventions. I've been to several others, but this is the one convention I can go to every year and always, always have a good time. My legs will be killing me I will be in so much pain when I get home, but I wouldn't trade it for the damn world. Because every year it's fun. All right. Are there... I'm trying to think. I don't think there's any other questions in regards to this. Are there any other questions you guys have about the con? Anything that I can hopefully answer? Again, we're strictly talking Metrocon, and thank you guys for staying on topic here. No, trust me, Bio. I already know. Logistically, I already know what to do with it. That's like I said. The only thing I had to do is the only thing I do for the videos is I just turn the mic off. This year, I won't do that. I see what you did there, Kyoryu. Ow. My calves, my lower calves are so fucking stiff right now. You have no idea. What's funny is, all weekend long, it was my heels that were killing me. My heels were in so much pain because I was breaking in a new pair of shoes and standing for hours at a time. But all weekend long, it was just my heels. This morning, I get up, and my calves are killing me. Like, the muscles down there are so fucking stiff. It's not even funny. Ah, son of a bitch. Well, it's worth every bit of pain. Sentai Master, if I had the money, I'd be walking home with a whole shitload of anime DVDs. It's not even funny. Like, Gurren Lagann DVD box set, I still don't have that. Though I'm waiting for the new anniversary collection to get the anniversary collection, because that's going to have not only the series, but the 2 movies. So, definitely cool. Oh, you know what? There is one other story I could share. Now, me and Lady K are very rare when it comes to press people, because we're one of the few press guys that actually gets invited to the after party, the staff only after party, or as we like to call it, the dead dog party, because we're dead dog tired. This year we went above and beyond. Well, more specifically, the lady went above and beyond, because normally what they do is they just get some chips and salsa from the hotel, they get a cake of cider, and they order a shit ton of pizza. And we're talking $500 worth of pizza. Remember, we're talking about at least a good 40, 50 plus people going to this party. Or, okay, I'd say a solid 30. At least a good 30 people going to this party. And alcohol is involved. It's not a dry party at all. This year, my wife decided she was going to add something to that. On top of the leftovers that we had from our cooler, we added the idea. My wife decided to cook up 3 giant pork shoulders and made barbecued pulled pork. Homemade barbecue sauce on top of that. It was insane how much food they brought. We brought it. And on top of that, we had fried chicken. We had beef stroganoff, mashed potatoes, and spaghetti. Almost all of it was gone by the time we left. By the time the party ended. And all of it was absolutely delicious. The pulled pork was nice and tender, even after reheating in the microwave. The barbecue sauce was perfect. They had both sweet and tangy and hot and spicy. And my wife busted her ass to get that barbecue sauce just right. I wish I could have shared with you guys what we had, but it was delicious as fuck. And here's how awesome it was, because one of the assistant heads of security, who was also in charge of the food for the party, came up to Lady K at the end and said, "Your food was so good, it was a huge hit, it ran out so fast. If we paid you if we gave you the food budget, what could you pull off? We're basically going to be getting hired to cater the after party next year. You have no idea how ecstatic Lady K was when she was told that. Like, her face was beaming when she explained that to me this morning. They loved it. That is how great, how in we are with these guys. No other con would treat us the way these guys do. And I mean that in the best way possible. No other con would give us the opportunities. No other con would welcome us into their family the way Metrocon has. That is why we will go back every year, because we know that when we go to Metrocon, we're not just a couple of press guys that they have to put up with. We're part of the fucking family. No other con would do that with us. I love Ranger Stop. Mikey and Jonimus are awesome people. Susan is a sweetheart. But even they could not welcome us in the way Metrocon does. And this con as big as Metrocon, to welcome us into that family, when by all accounts, they do not have to. They have their own video team. They have everything they need. They could easily tell us, we don't want your videos. You don't need to be posting those. We've got our own. Get the fuck out. They do not have to accept us at all. They have no reason to. But not only do they allow us to do what we do, they work with us. I talked to the guys in tech. Lex Talent, who is the head, who's the technomancer, as he calls himself. The high technomancer of Metrocon. By all accounts, he does not have to give me shit. I ask for like the videos that play on the monitors, so that I can add those to the shows. He doesn't have to give me those. By all accounts, he could tell me, no, you're not going to do that. Fuck you. That's our videos. That's our stuff. Why are you asking for that? Fuck off. They could do that, and I would have no say in the matter. I would have to work with what I have. But no. They go out of their way to render the videos just so they can send them to me and allow me to use them in mine. Every year, that blows me away that they're willing to do that for me. I'm a nobody. I don't get many views on these videos. I am not, but the fact that they do that for me is why I am willing to push so hard for you guys to come. And I'm going to say this, to those who are able to make it and do, like Solar Star and Slick Rick and everybody else, thank you. Even if it's just one or two of you, that's one or two more people paying to go to Metrocon because of what I've done. That is why they continue working, because I am doing everything I can to make up for it. I don't pay for my pass. I don't pay for my press pass. I get that for free. But you know how I pay for it? I pay for it with promotion, and I pay for it by working with them so closely and making all this stuff happen. That is my payment for Metrocon. And you guys help me pay for Metrocon. Whether you believe it or not. Not through money, but not through paying my ticket, but by paying for your own. Because instead of just having one ticket for me, they get at least several passes from you guys. Kyoryu, if you could pull that off, fan-fucking-tastic. Absolutely. I highly recommend you go. If you can make both cons, great. And if you can't, here's how you decide. Do you want to meet guests or do you want to see events? If you want to see the shows, go to Metrocon. Ranger Stop is all about the guests, and that's great. I love it. I love meeting these people. And yes, I know there's a Ranger Stop update. Don't even have to tell me. Shut up. Don't even say it. I already posted in the Discord chat. I know. But I go to Metrocon for the events because the people there are they work so hard. They are so proud of what they do at Metrocon. They bust their ass. They practice for months to gear up for these events. And their work shows. Even if things don't always go off without a hitch, they bust their ass so hard to put on the best shows for you guys. That's why I keep going, because I want their work to be noticed. I want their work to be recognized, because it is that fucking good. So if you have been able to make it and you've gone and you hang on at Metrocon, great, fan-fucking-tastic. You know, even if you bug the shit out of me, which, by the way, Rick, you came very close to annoying me a little bit with that. Just saying. Being completely honest. But you didn't reach creepy levels, if that helps. But I kept running into you way more often than I should have. Just saying. That being said, you came, you had fun, we hung out. I was glad to get to talk to you for a bit. So don't take it the wrong way. Yeah, Bio's right. They practice a lot. That's why Spade Ace has not been at Toku Riffs. Because he's been practicing for months on end to gear up for his pride and joy, the Star Party. Yeah. You, Crimson, you have no fucking clue. You have no fucking clue. But they are such amazing people to hang out with. Nick and Alex bust their ass every year, having to put up with so much bullshit. This year, the other nickname for Metrocon was Badgegate 2017. Why? Because TCC decided they didn't like the idea of using badges at the con. They wanted wristbands. They had these little wristbands that they put around your arm all weekend long. The only regular guests that got badges were VIPs who got the commemorative badges, and they didn't even have enough of them from what I've been told. Some people may not even have gotten those. But TCC insisted on it, and it was a disaster. Everyone complained about him. Several people even had issues with the badges not even adhering right. If they were even slightly off, you couldn't even take a shower with these wristbands on because the adhesive would get washed off, and then suddenly your badge would be ruined. And trust me, there were pictures of this happening, and Alex went on Facebook and basically say, yeah, we understand, we agree with you. He even said this at closing ceremonies. He flat out said, we understand your pain with these wristbands. We don't like them either. We didn't want to have these. And next year, we're going to fight our asses off to have the badges come back. The big problem with the badges was that people were posting them on like 4chan and making rip-off badges. It's basically fake badges that they used to try to get into the con. So they figured the wristbands might be a little easier. Guess what, motherfuckers? That didn't work. Within a day, an image of the wristband was posted up on 4chan, and people were already trying to do that again. So, yeah. It was a shit show. And Nick and Alex hated it. That's one of the things I want to make very clear, because you might hear a lot of horror stories when it comes to Metrocon. But the biggest thing is that everyone aims their rage at Nick and Alex, when more often than not, Nick and Alex are on the same fucking page with them. I'm not even kidding. More often than not, Nick and Alex are agreeing with the complaints, because they're pissed about it too. The problem is that it's usually the Tampa Convention Center that's the problem. TCC are become more and more strict every fucking year, and it's insane. So you really have to blame the TCC for this bullshit. The Tampa Convention Center just gets stricter. Now, this year, to some extent, I can understand why. Because because a lot of these changes happened after all the incidents that happened, like the incident with Jason David Frank getting attacked and a couple other cons having issues. Hell, one of the things we like to do was to give food to all the guests before interviews. We weren't even allowed to do that this year because apparently at another con, someone had given food to a guest and it had a fucking needle in it! Are you serious? Putting a fucking needle in food to get to a guest? Are you out of your fucking mind? God damn it. This is why we can't have nice things. Bio? I don't know where they'd go. The Tampa Convention Center is probably one of the biggest places they can go for a con like this. I don't know where anywhere else they could go at this point. Anywhere they'd go would be a downgrade. So, yeah, that's the problem. And this is the problem that they've been having, is like that there's not many other places they can go. Angie, it wouldn't help. It would not help. Because most people who are bitching like that, they don't give a damn. They just know who the heads of the con are, so that's who gets to bit. That's who they bitch at. It's a nice thought, and you're right. That's what they, having that wouldn't be too bad of an idea, but unfortunately, it would not work in the long run. But yeah, you would not believe how pissed off Lady K was when she found out she couldn't give the chicken directly to guests at the con because of a fucking idiot like that putting a needle in food. It was insane. But nonetheless, we still had an amazing time. Oh, I also forgot to mention a lot of the cosplay guests. I don't get a chance to hang out with them very often, but there are a couple I do want to make note of. The biggest one, of course, last year we got to meet Ollie Roo Cosplay. They were back again this year. Very cool group of guys. Well, guy and a girl now, because one of them came out as trans. Very cool group of people. And definitely worth your time. Definitely worth checking out. If you haven't seen Ollie Roo on YouTube, go look them up. They're hilarious. They're absolutely hilarious. Biohybrid, from what I gather, it's TCC security, and more often than not, they're not exactly in the wrong on it. So, like, it's a complicated issue. 9 times out of 10, when security of any kind is yelling at you, you're usually doing something to deserve it. So, it's a very tricky situation. I was actually talking with Nick about it last night, about that. And he's not really concerned. There wasn't anything to be of concern. Like, this wasn't a year or two ago when TCC was legitimately getting out of hand. It wasn't that bad. What else? But yeah, getting back to cosplay guests, there was also, U21 was one of the other cosplay guests. She actually ran an LGBT panel. I didn't get a chance to see it, but she seems like a sweetheart. I'd actually get to love to talk with her in there, but unfortunately I haven't had a chance to meet her in person yet. Their main artist for this year was a local artist, No Flutter. If you see the artwork that they did for the con guide, it looks amazing. I wish I could put it up on screen for you guys, but it looked fantastic. No Flutter is an amazing artist, and she definitely deserves to be doing the work she did. I know a lot of us enjoyed the work of Ami-chan, Amelie Belcher, who did the con guide for years, but No Flutter certainly has certainly picked up the slack and does a great job. I'm actually going to pull up her stuff here real quick. See if I can show you some of her work. Here we go. This looks like the right person. Of course, she is on DeviantArt, like any good artist, any artist worth a damn is. I'd be amazed if they actually had any of the art, if she actually posted any of the art from Metrocon on here that I could show off. But yeah, go look her up. One word, No Flutter, on DeviantArt. You just see this artwork looks fucking fantastic. It is some beautiful work, and I can definitely see why she got the job to do the con guide this year. Oh, Evan Hunter, Gail, was there ever? In fact, you'll actually get to hear some of it during one of my interviews, because the motherfuckers were so fucking loud. Every year at Metrocon, there is a group of religious nutjobs that decide to protest, and this year they must have been able to pull a permit because they protested literally right outside the convention center, right there on the ground floor. And unfortunately, they were the place where we do our interviews is situated right where they were protesting, so we could hear them from the windows. Motherfuckers, they were lucky that they didn't completely drown out my interviews, because I would have gone down there and strangled them. I came this close to walking downstairs and you motherfuckers just ruined my work. Congratulations. Fuck you, and fucking killed them. And I said, cops, you can arrest me now. You better arrest me now, because otherwise these motherfuckers are going to die. They are costing me my work. You're absolutely right, Evan and Gale. They are not. Vic Mignogna is more of a Christian than those assholes were. And I was almost praying that he would go down there and call them fucking out. And Slick Rick, I'm surprised you weren't at closing ceremonies to find out about this. Or either that or you're just trying to ask to set me up. But yes, they have announced... I believe it's the next year's con. If you guys are interested in going, it's July. I believe it's July 19th through the 22nd. Next year. And the theme, they're not sure which order, but it's going to be Guardians versus Invaders. That is the theme for next year. It could be Invaders versus Guardians, but either way, that's the two. Invaders and versus Guardians. So... very much looking forward to that, seeing what they pull off with that. Definitely, again, if you guys can come to Metrocon, I highly, highly recommend that you do. You do not know what you're missing by missing out this con. Like, my videos can only do it so much justice. Especially stuff like the fire show. Watching the fire show on a video does not do it justice. You have to see it in person. Oh, trust me, I think we all thought that deal, but... And yeah, Angie, they did get out of hand. Again, they had the megaphones. The problem was that because it was in front of the TC, it was literally right on the TCC, right in front of the TCC entrance, a lot of the con goers went out there and started antagonizing them. So it was going back and forth all over the place. Good God. But, yeah, please take the time to go, come to Metrocon. My videos are great. I love doing them, and even the official videos are fun to watch, but they do not do these shows justice. You have to experience it live. Because there's so much passion in them that you seeing it live is an experience in and of itself. You hear, like, you feel the gunshots. The music that plays is so intense. It's crazy. So please come down here. Come down here if you can. I know for some of you, it's out of your price range. I understand that. I don't shame you for doing so. If you honestly can't afford to go, that's fine. I get it. But if you have the ability to come down here, I implore you, at least once, come to Metrocon. See it for yourself. See what you've been missing out on. I guarantee you, even if you're not the biggest anime fan, you will not regret it. Anyway, that is going to do it for me tonight. I think I've spoken my mind enough. I've said all I need to say. I am done. I'm ready to relax. So, here is what's going on as far as this week goes. I have said it now before. We'll have Rift Down tomorrow, TRPG on Wednesday. We will not have Ranger Recap. I'm sure Easy and Maddie will appreciate that. Friday, of course, WrestleCast. Saturday, Helmsman. Sunday, Toku Riffs Live. And then, if everything goes according to plan, Monday will be the first of Metrocon Live. We will be doing the Metro Fire Show, Kingdom Hearts. If you're a fan of even if you're not a fan of the franchise, I recommend you check it out. The performance was absolutely beautiful, and you will not want to miss what these guys did. There's some amazing performances in this. Before I go, there's one last thing I need to do, because I almost forgot. I want to thank Solar Star and Slick Rick for the gifts they gave me. Of course, Solar Star gave both me and Lady K a couple of plushies. He gave me a Leo plushie from Juoger, and he gave Lady K an Elsa plushie. And I also have this mystery box, a Power Rangers the Movie mystery box. I have not opened this yet. I do not know what's inside, but we're about to find out. So I want to end on that. I want to end with this. Yeah, I believe Slick Rick gave me this. So let's see what's in here real quick. Get that off. Okay, we got a bag. Let's see, we feel it. Feels like it's going to be a Ranger, because there's supposed to be either Rangers or Zords inside, but it feels like a Ranger based on the shape of it. Let's see what we got. Work with me here. Yeah, I'm basically doing, well, not a blitz, just a blind box opening. There we go. All right, what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? And it is. Oh no, it is a. We got a Tyrannosaurus Zord. We have the Tyrannosaurus Zord. It standed so upright it felt like a Ranger, but no, I got the T-Rex. It's actually articulated too. That's pretty cool. I like it. If I had my camera working, I'd have my camera on for it, but yeah. Yeah, that looks pretty badass. Sharp as shit though, too. Careful, this thing will hurt. You could stab somebody with this thing. Jesus Christ. Tail. My mouth opens up too. It'd be even cooler if you could move the head and have the Megazord head pop up behind it. That'd be pretty badass, but no luck there. Oh, yeah, that's actually kind of neat. Thank you. Thank you, Slipper. Thank you, Rick. And again, thank you, Solar Star, for the plushies. Those were awesome. I definitely still have that right here. Very cool little thing. So now I have a plushie. I have a Leo. Very cool stuff. Oh, yeah. I got a motherfucking T-Rex. T-Rex. Anyway, so that is going to do it for me tonight. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully, if all goes well, we'll have the Fire Show next Monday. I encourage all of you to come for that. You guys will not be disappointed. It was so much fun to record that. In the meantime, I want to thank you guys for joining us as always. If you are wanting to support the show, support these streams, I have my Patreon in the description below. Even if it's just $1 a month, that would be super appreciated. Thank you guys so much for tuning in as always. Follow me on social media. All of the links are in the description below. Until then, I am the Shades, and we will see you guys next time. Rock on!
Special thanks to Eric Vaughn and Cure You Crimson for their Patreon donations. Donate today so you can keep these streams going.